Hello. Herman Miller are best known for their connection with Ray and Charles Eames, the world-famous furniture designers. Popular Google searches for Herman Miller are things like, why are their chairs so expensive? Are they worth the money? And who is Herman Miller? Which, as we're about to find out, is precisely not the point. In this video, we're going to make this bench from start to finish, and then one of you can buy it. Details will be at the end. But when making furniture, you need both a basic purpose and a good understanding of your raw materials. The harder the task, or the more fiddly the material, the greater the skill required. It's therefore not surprising that Charles Eames started off by making humble church pews, and we're following suit. Ours is made from walnut and elm, so although the basic purpose is fairly lowly, the materials are fairly lofty. Herman Miller's humble beginnings can be traced back to the Star Furniture Company in 1905, which became the Michigan Star Furniture 4 years later. It was in that year that 18-year-old Dirk-Jan Dupree joined the company as a general office boy. No stranger to the normal processes of life, Dupree worked his way up from the bottom and was to impressively make president of the company a mere 10 years later in 1919. In 1923, Dupree, his father-in-law Herman Miller, and a few other investors bought the Michigan Star Furniture Company. And since Dupree took the reins, the name he gave it is surprising. But in that year, the Herman Miller Furniture Company was born. But Dupree remained its architect, and it was the growing character of Dupree that was to shape it into what it became. The next milestone came 4 years later in 1927, when Dupree visited the home of a millwright who had died on the job at Herman Miller to offer his condolences. At the request of the widow, Dupree remained to hear some of his poetry. Profoundly moved by the poems, Dupree became intrigued by the question of whether he had employed a millwright, who happened to write poetry, or a poet who worked as a millwright. Dupree said, "God was dealing with me about this whole thing, the attitude toward working people. I began to realise that we were either all ordinary or all extraordinary." Following that, Dupree's opinion of his employees changed. If the millwright was also a poet, what might others turn out to be? With gentle deliberateness, Dupree sought to really get to know his workforce and to realise and encourage their hidden strengths and talents. One of Dupree's designers, Gilbert Rodd, reinforced this new belief in people when they were discussing design. Rodd said to Dupree, "You think design is the most interesting thing about a house, but you're wrong. The most interesting thing about a house is the people who live in it, and I'm designing for those people." Again, despite being the man in charge, Dupree humbly accepted the direction. Rodd's first designs, completed in 1933, were exhibited at the Chicago World's Fair, and as a result of Dupree's showcasing the work and ideas of others, Herman Miller's sales began to grow. When Rodd died, he was replaced by George Nelson, a young architect. The most impressive of his accomplishments at Herman Miller was connecting the company with important design artists, including Charles and Ray Eames. During this time, the company developed a mission statement. Herman Miller's people and the designers they work with are concerned with larger issues of humanity and equality and bettering the world we work in. What arrives on the truck is furniture. What went into the truck was an amalgam of what we believe in: innovation, design, operational excellence, smart application of technology, and social responsibility. By 1950, Herman Miller's sales had increased to 1.7 million. That same year, Herman Miller adopted a revolutionary management plan. the plan would again put others before the man in charge, Dupree. The new vision was that given information about the company and a chance to participate in helping to solve problems, the average worker would contribute to the success of the company. The vision assumed that people were motivated by many things besides money, including a chance to make a difference, pride, fellowship. And it worked. The company kept growing. Meanwhile, another example of the Herman Miller Company's belief in people above itself was that the company's designs began to change, moving away from the showcasing of individual designers into creating space-saving, utilitarian and multi-purpose furniture that would fit ordinary homes and enhance ordinary lives. This caused the company to thrive throughout the 70s and the 80s. Today, every single Herman Miller employee is given extra paid holiday every year to volunteer for a charity of their choice, as Herman Miller continues to allow its staff to determine its choices, its actions, and its spending. In 1969, DJ Dupree, after 60 years of working for Herman Miller, retired and left the company to his two sons. The Dupree family and their commitment to humble direction continued to work within Herman Miller until 1995. Since 1986, Herman Miller has ranked among the top 20 of the 500 most admired companies. It is world famous, enormously successful, and credited with refining and shaping an entire industry. The company began before the Dupree family joined, and it continues after they've left. It is neither named for them, nor does it particularly boast of them. Its greatest achievements are all credited to others, and yet, when the first Dupree joined the company as a lowly clerk, it was nearly bankrupt. And when the last Dupree left, it had a lofty turnover of more than $1 billion and employed more than 6,000 people. So, who is Herman Miller? Well, that was never the point, and now you know why. But it's still a good question, because, in the words of DJ Dupree's son, Max, management has a lot to do with answers, but leadership is a function of questions. And the first question for a leader is not, what are we going to do, but who are we going to be? The best way to make furniture, as with everything else in life, is to have both a basic purpose and a good understanding of your raw materials. The most basic raw material we have to work with is us. And, like the towering elm humbling itself into the shape of a simple pew, DJ Dupree chose to make himself less so that others, and so that Herman Miller, could be more. Herman Miller do a lot to support youth mentoring programs and base charities. So we're going to sell this bench, and the money is going to go in support of the YMCA. The YMCA is the largest and oldest youth-based charity in the world. Further sale details will be at the very end.
He knows if we're being naughty.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. The eagle-eyed viewer will notice that we made two benches side by side. This is the nicer one, so this is the one that we'll sell. Please, if you'd like to support us, like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, all the rest of it. And if you'd like to support the YMCA, buy our bench. All the money that we raise from this bench will go to the YMCA, and the sale link will be in the description and on all social media stuff 1 week from today, the release day of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Are you going to put credits at the end of that video? Well, it's probably polite.